Our guest today has wasted no time putting the skills learned in TV Production 1 to use in the real world. He is the co-owner and operator of an emerging production company called Low Key Films. While new to the game, our guest has already amasses an interesting body of work. From commercials and fashion shoots to music videos and short films, he sees every opportunity as a chance to better his craft. We will get to see some of the work he and his production team have created to date, as well as hear about some of the experiences he has had in his brief stint in the production world. The Humanity Communications Art Department at NCC presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now, join our host, Fabio Delabrena.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling audio, operating cameras, and acting as talent for the first time today. The guests you're about to meet are students who, when not on camera, are behind the scenes working hard to bring this program to you with as few mistakes as possible. Each student will write and direct 4 different productions. This program will give them the chance to talk about themselves, the productions they are completed, and give you the chance to get to know them and watch the progress throughout the semester. Our guest today is currently taking film and TV production here at NCC. With the knowledge gained from this course lighting the way, he has formed the production company called Low Key Films. I would like you to meet our guest today, Kevin Laughlin.
How you doing, Fabio?
Hey. Now, we just saw some footage of your work just now, and you must have some really interesting experiences. Can you please tell us what's it been like creating and running your own company?
Yeah, for sure. It was a harebrained scheme with a bunch of my friends from childhood that we thought we could just get a camera and do way better commercials and music videos and everything that we see on TV.
Right.
This video here was actually our first one. That's a young man named Sean Nasso, and he's a trainer in Stanford. So he wanted to have a video to show different clients what he could do, his training regimens, and the place he trains out of. So we put together a quick little video, some still photos of him there, doing pull-ups on different things, and just kind of showing overall what kind of trainer he could be. You know, and it was great fun, and we learned a lot. Now this is him again, and he went up to UConn, where he goes to school now, and began training a couple of the basketball players at UConn. The guy on the right actually is a 7-footer named Andre Drummond, and he's suspected to be in the top 5 picked in the NBA this year. So we thought it'd be a good idea to get him to dunk on my boy JR here.
That's awesome.
And you know, you can see the extension there. That's Gamble Pavilion. It was a great weekend of shooting, and we actually stay in touch with Andre Drummond. Then we moved on to another thing. This is a clothing designer who wanted to get his fashion out there. High roller clothing. So I actually modeled myself in there because it's a buddy of mine. But you know, we CG'd the spray paint so that it looked like it was spraying on me. And we made that whole background out of spray paint and a tarp, and it was a beautiful thing. Here we got to do my sister's wedding, which was kind of a different kind of job to have for somebody that you're related to. This is everybody in my family from all across the world in the same room for the first time in a while, and it was great to see them all. And here's my buddy. We did a University of Bridgeport photo shoot for him and his class, actually. The University of Bridgeport paid us to do this, and I could see worse ways to spend your afternoon. And this was probably the best, coolest. It was last week. We went down to Virginia and shot with Raekwon from Wu-Tang Clan. He was doing a promotional for a concert he was doing at University of Richmond. So we got to meet him, and he's an awesome guy. So after actually looking at those, it was a little reminiscent. I got to relive them, so that was nice.
That was awesome. The Raekwon footage was the best. Wu-Tang forever. Now, the streets have been asking me this. When they see me, they go, "Fab, you got to ask Kevin this question." I'm like, all right, I'll ask him. Why are you taking this course?
Well, when my friends and I ended up with a beautiful camera, a gift, in our lap, we thought it would behoove us not to use it. And, you know, what can we do to better ourselves, to be better at this craft?
Right.
NCC has a great communication program, art program, and I heard nothing but good things about Stony Durin, so I decided to give it a try. And it's worked out beautifully because it's nice to go back to the group of guys that I work with all these little tools and tricks that I've learned here and kind of, you know, show off on set with them. So it's good.
That's great. What would you say are some of the most useful things that you learned in the course so far?
Fabio, if I could tell you one thing, storyboarding. Okay?
Storyboarding.
Before, because this is a perfect litmus test for this course, because before I took this course, I was doing production but not knowing what I was doing. So I come here, and Stoney, first thing he says, most important, is storyboard. And he couldn't be more right, because we were going half-mast the whole time. We were, let's shoot it here, let's get him from this angle, let's have somebody jump off the top.
Right.
We had no plan.
No organization.
So now that I know about storyboarding, I'm the one who comes with a nice blueprint of what we're going to shoot that day in order. So I don't have a guy bringing the tripod this way and the lighting this way, and we're setting up shots. Everybody's storyboard. Storyboard.
Excellent. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty of things. Please tell us about the sequences, the nature project, and of course, you can forget the orange project.
Yeah, these were fun. The first project came about, Stoney says, put together a sequence where you have a lot of hand-to-hand, where you grab stuff out of a bag and you zoom in on the bag, like you see on this Abbott here. And it was cool because you don't realize that tells the story more than you really think. You watch movies after the fact, and you notice that they have a lot of this, where a guy starts the ignition of the car and it zooms into the ignition of the car. So this was a great way to tell a story in a much more clear way, and I thank Stoney for teaching me that part of it, the quick cuts to close-ups.
Me too.
And he did a great job here. My second sequence, I had my buddy make a power shake, because he makes them every morning and I make fun of him. So again, some nice hand-to-hand, reaching for each creatine bottle, trying to cut on action as the hand enters the frame and exits the frame, all that good stuff. Have him go into the refrigerator, picking out the different accoutrements for his shake.
Yes.
And raspberries are must. And, so this was great. And, shooting with a friend is always fun, so. And then, my winter project. This might be, well, this is my favorite, and we'll find out later why. But this was cool. This is a little shift focus action. I had the top of the hedge there, and now you can see the trees behind it. I thought that was pretty cool. Then I went back to the hedge, I believe. Yeah, I did. And it looks beautiful. I'm going to follow this tree down into the ground, and this is just all my sister's backyard. So it was really nice to get out there with the camera. And this was actually one of the days that I learned the most about the camera, because I got to play with all the buttons. I wasn't waiting for an actor to get ready, you know what I mean? And here's the orange project. Now this is still in the birth stages, but I had my buddy come out here, and there's his brother throwing a ball right at him. There goes the orange down the street. Where the orange will end up, that remains to be seen, because the orange project is my fin on the end of this class. So we'll see that later. And just watch John catch this ball too, because he's got good hands. So we were trying to get him to drop them. He ended up catching a lot of them. Kind of didn't work out.
Well, I'm definitely intrigued. Excellent. Now, from all the projects that we've seen, what would you say is your best one? Go.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go back to the winter project that I kind of alluded to before. And for the exact reason is I got to get out there and have the camera in my hands and really just tool away at every button I could see and just figure out, the 3 ways to let in light: shutter speed, aperture, and the ISO. So I could adjust those 3 things and get the best picture for where I was. And the best thing is, like nature, it's always performing. So you don't have to wait for it to take its spot. It's constantly in action. You just kind of, you just kind of catch it when you want. And nothing better than New England in the winter. It reminds me of giant football. But this is my friend's front yard. Pretty busy street out there, so I got lucky. No cars were coming. And those are some pretty cool flagstones I thought represented the lines, converging lines, intersecting lines. However you want to read that, those are weird. Flagstones. There's a couple ways to interpret those. And then I liked messing with the shift focus here, the rack focus, because as you see the red's in focus, and then I switched to the purple and back. And I find that's a cool way to put the emphasis on what you want and kind of drown out what you don't. It's been a great experience.
Wow, you just mentioned a variety of things that you learned through the course. Out of all of them, what would you say is the most interesting one and useful, obviously, and how will you put it to use?
Okay, well, I'm not going to beat you to death with the storyboard idea, but
Please
I've
don't.
got to say again, storyboard. It makes everything go nice and smooth, which is the way I like it. But besides that, and what something I didn't know was the tripod effect. And I kind of, when Stoney first said it, I was like, well, you know, you don't have to always use a tripod. But he's right, because when I look at footage in the past where we had the camera like this, we didn't have anything, and we're following people around, it looks really amateurish, you know?
Right.
And now when you're on a tripod, everything's on the same playing field, even lines, you could adjust, beautiful. So the tripod is definitely one of the big things. And editing has also been very helpful, because a lot of these projects that we're doing, we need to edit. And now I have Avid at my disposal at NCC. Talk about coming to school here. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Having the tools.
I know what you mean. Today, we get to meet someone who has really put his passion for film into action. The sky seems to be the limit for him and his production company. And I personally can't wait to see what he comes up with next. I would like you to thank our guest, Kevin Laughlin, for joining us today.
Thanks, buddy. It was great to be here.
Thank you. We hope you enjoyed meeting some of television's future directors, and we hope you will continue to join us each week to watch our progress. Thank you, and good day.
This has been The New Directors with your host, Fabio Dellabrena, directed by Ben Papalardo. And I'm your announcer, Robert Johnson. The New Directors is a Norwalk Community College student production.